Thank you for joining me for yet another unboxing video, and today we have the board game Omicron Protocol, an intra-apocalyptic squad-based minis board game. This game takes about 40 to 90 minutes to play for 1 to 4 players, ages 14 plus, brought to you by Dead Alive Games. Omicron Protocol, an intra-apocalyptic squad-based minis board game. Omicron Protocol is an intra-apocalyptic cyberpunk-themed miniatures game for 1 to 4 players, where you control a squad of unique characters and a third-party enemy to harass your opponent. In the year 2050, the utopian city of San Lazaro was crippled by a mysterious virus. Quarantined and cut off from the rest of the world, the survivors band together in order to escape the city before they, too, succumb to the infection. The only thing standing between you and salvation are rival factions looking to accomplish their own mysterious goals amid this chaos, and the Sims, once ordinary people who have grown maddeningly violent and unpredictable thanks to the disease. Every character in the game is represented by a detailed 32mm scale miniature, possessing their own rich history and personality, as well as powerful cybernetic abilities. Play the competitive or solo cooperative modes through various scenarios to survive the crisis. This game is filled with innovative game mechanics that make every game thrilling and exciting, ushering players deeper and deeper into the gripping lore of San Lazaro and those who fight its chaotic streets. And this is a game by Brandon Kenrick and Bernie Lynn, and it gives you a little bit of background about the whole what's inside the box. Again, it's a game that lasts 45 to 90 minutes, 1 to 4 players, ages 14 and above. For more information about this game, go to deadalivegames.com. So, let us crack this bad boy open and see what kind of goodness we have inside the box. And it is a rather large box, I must say. All right, so we're starting right off. All right, we're going to open it just as we see it in the box. So we've got hollow projector, adaptive camo, deep cover firewall, Sims cosplay costume, +1 dexterity, drunk, hyper aware, repel field, and Overwatch. Then we got a bunch of other tokens, different icons on them, which obviously will be explained in the rulebook what they are used for. And let's flip those over. Overwatch, repel field, hyper aware, drunk, +1 dexterity, Sims cosplay costume, firewall. So it looks like they're pretty much the same. And that's knocked out right there, it says. So there we have it right there. Okay. So we can put that over there. We've also got some more tokens here, which I have to open. Again, as you guys know, watching previous videos, I never use blades or anything else on camera. This way, if I slip with it, nobody needs to see that. So we're gonna pop this off right here. So this looks like bits and pieces of terrain, which is always helpful to have. And this is interesting because normally everything is the square boxes. And the last couple of games that I've unboxed, you guys, they've been moving to hexes. So as the gaming industry changes, we start moving to hexes versus your regular standard squares. Okay, so we've got different types of rough terrain and covering terrain. That's always very cool to have. We've got some characters up top, some med kits, it looks like, some supplies. Good stuff. And nice thick cardboard, very cool, nice to have. And you know it's high quality because you can punch it right back in. So there's one of those, and then we have some more. More terrain pieces. Oh, looks like someone on top of a building firing. Interesting. More crates and barrels and some med kits, and then some of your other characters that you have. So it looks like you have up to 6 players. It looks, and a 1 to 4 players, but it looks like there's maybe 6 characters you can choose from. Maybe, not sure. Not sure if it says 1 to 4. I'm assuming then that's the fourth, and these might be villains or something. I'm not sure, but we're gonna have to read the rule book to find out. And then again, we have a major board here. So let's take a look at that real quick. I'm gonna try to show it to you section by section. Again, we've got our hex grids. A lot of games, the hex grids are used for combat, especially for spaceships and things of that nature. So this is a little bit different. We got figures with hexes on them. So again, it looks like it's a cityscape scene. We can look on this side. It's got a bicycle there. Variety of different colors. Okay, so it looks like the board is double-sided. So it looks like you have a cyber side or something of that nature, like more of a cyber look to it. So this is one side. So I'm trying to show it to you the best. Okay, I could fold it a little better so that I can show you this way. Then I could turn it. You got a stop sign. Okay. This kind of has a cyberpunk feel to it, definitely, without a doubt. Again, it's futuristic, so that would help it. And then we saw that side ray with the bicycle on there. And then we have this side over here. Now if we flip that open, we have basically a downtown section. And that's cool. So again, I don't want to crack the board, so I'm just going to try to bring it to you as best I can. There's one part of it to the other side. Move it just for a second so I can turn it upside down without hitting the camera. And this is part of the side that we saw earlier. But there you have it. So that I'm going to leave this side of the board up, and I'm going to pull this stuff off and put this board down. So as you kind of know, with the videos, if you've been watching my videos, you'll know that this is kind of out of sequence because normally the rule book's right on top, but in this game, the rule book's always buried at the bottom. So what I'm going to do before I get to figures and dice and all that kind of stuff, what I'm going to do, I'm going to pull out the rule book so we can take a look at that. So bear with me for a moment while I pull that stuff out. Okay, looks like there's what they call a ton of books in here. All right, so now this is something that more companies should do. They tell you what's in the box and how to reload it after you are done playing, and that is awesome sauce. So now it makes sense because you look at the lower tray, it tells you fits all rule books on top of the other well. So that's awesome. So that's really cool, that the fact that they took the time and effort to create a box where everything fits perfectly, and they tell you how to put everything in there. More games, and I should say this again, more games should provide something of this nature. So that's really, really cool. That's really cool. All right, so we have two things of tokens because we're going to start having a lot of stuff here. So we're going to start moving this over a little bit more. So that sheet there, that's an important sheet to have. So you have the proverbial quick start guide, which is right here. So we'll take a look at that as well. So you got the credits to all the great people who brought you this. Welcome to the world. Little fluff about the background. Says how to play solo cooperative mode, how to play competitive mode. Then it goes over here, tutorial, character activations, icon keys, your setup, your survivalists, peacemakers, and shows you the difference between those, playing around, activating the point pool for each player. Peacemakers activate PAI. Tells you what PAI is, performing attacks. And then you have different, again, she explains to in detail, in great detail, how to play the game, basically. how to read all the icons, rolling dice, explaining how it all adds up. Then it says here, end your activation survivals, activate thugs. And then go here, see, use an active ability, perform one more melee attack with a thug, and thugs activations, activate Buck there and Seeker. And then you got your second tutorial, the CYMS, the Sims. That's the other side of the board, it appears. New rules in QSG. Tutorial 2, EM noise, playing around. Rival player activities, or activate Sims. So how do you use those? Survivals, activate thugs. Now you've learned the basics, just the basics, in the quick start guide of Omicron Protocol. So if I'm not mistaken, here's another how to play one. Okay, hold on, how to play. So that was quick start. Nice cover, same exact cover. Let's go through this real quick. How to play, about the booklet, the overview, tells you what's inside the box, which I'm showing it to you right now. Objective of the game, competitive mode. The main objective of competitive mode is to score more victory points than your opponent in the selected scenario within the scenario defined end game criteria. The various methods of scoring VP will be different and defined in each scenario. Sportsmanship now got solo and cooperative mode. The main objective of the solo cooperative mode is to score a specified amount of victory points in the set number of rounds for that scenario. The requirements for both VP and rounds are defined in each scenario. All right, key concepts, characters, action points, icon keys, measuring distances, solo cooperative, number of players, game sequence. So your game sequence, holy mother of God, is there a lot to do in this thing here. Okay, so game setup, then round structure, setup phase, player order, AP pool generation, forged card draw, activation phase, character activation, Sims activation, end phase, Sim spawn, cleanup, end game criteria, end game, tally scores, declare winner, shake hand, or elbow bump. Fantastical. All right, moving forward, then it shows you a game that's set up and how to do that, and all the numbers go according to what shows on the picture of the map. We have here choosing factions, choosing scenarios, how to read a scenario card. Moving forward, setting up the terrain, setting up spawn points, selecting your characters, round structures, activation phase, free standard actions, AP standard actions, varied cost actions, walking, foraging, using foraged cards, extraordinary tactics, first aid, moving conditions, all kinds of abilities, tech abilities, sustain once per round, KO, passive abilities, AP costs, ability markers, EM noise, hidden, shift, sidestep, stun, steal, pulse, template with range, template without range, surge abilities, all kinds of stuff here. Sims activation, Sim spawn, the end phase, no more Sims, and the end of the game. Here we go. Record any condition damage if appropriate, starting with the first player scored the scenario objective victory points that were not scored during the round. The second player then scores all their scenario objective VPs that were not scored during the round. The player with more total VPs wins. In the case of the tie, see scenario rules for tie breakers. And we got some cool art. There's not a whole heck of a lot of art in these books, so here we go. We found them in the back. So let's see what we got here. We have a choice of being survivalists. See what it says here. A group consisting of society's misfits, those who either could not or would not be part of the establishment. This faction believes in helping one another and those in need, as well as preparing for any further disasters that may befall the city. Gadgets Auto Shop serves as the group's headquarters. Here, they hang out and meet to discuss important issues ranging from how to aid the homeless to what new tools or techniques they can devise to survive the hell of San Lazaro. Most of the group members are either too poor or too distrustful to have any cybernetic implants installed, making them even more alienated from society that has become obsessed with cyber technology. So that's your group of people there. Then you've got that's your survivalists up there. Then you have your peacemakers. When the police and military were ordered to evacuate San Lazaro, some disobeyed. Either they couldn't abandon the citizens needed to figure out what was going on or stayed for personal reasons. These courageous individuals banded together and set up a base in downtown police station under the unofficial leadership of Buck McDonald. Commanding the desperate but committed group, Buck tries to keep the peace and help people where he can. Some are working around the clock investigating the viral outbreak and the media blackout. Though Buck appreciates all of their contribution, there are a few whose true motivations remain a mystery. So there you have it, 2 different factions that you can play. So you got your quick start guide, you got your how to play guide. Again, like I said, they have a massive amount of books in this thing. Now you got solo and cooperative rules. You got standard abilities, friendly, non-friendly, ranged attacks, range against models. Game setup, spawning sims, solo cards, and spawning sims. Number of players, round structure, setup phase, AP pool generator, activation phase. Again, all of the different ways to start up. End game, adjusting difficulty. So you have scenarios built in for your solo mode. Hands-on research. So all of them are set up the same way. You've got goals of scenario, you got rules, special rules, scoring victory points, scenario objective, and scoring goals. Next one. So the first one is called hands-on research. The next one is the airdrop. Then you have the purge script. You have the supply line. You have whiskey in a bottle, not whiskey in a jar. Patient zero. Last call. The Great Escape. And you have frequently asked questions, play testers, special thanks to all the people who helped bring you this game. And then you got a cool rules reference summary on the back. Again, if you're going to play with multiple people, if you're not going to play it solo, you want to make sure you make a couple copies of this so everybody has a copy of this on the board. Ability key icons, character card reference, actions, attacks of opportunity, luck tokens, attacks and action store, ranged attacks against engaged models, line of sight, cover, standard abilities, ability attack checks, conditions, and knocked out. So that's a mouthful. So there you go. There's your solo and cooperative rules. Again, it's for 1 to 4 players. So there you go. And then we have the real rules and reference and scenario book. How to read the book. Again, another book about rules, references, abilities, cost of abilities, action points, action store, and actions. We got out of activation, the activation phase, active models, your AP pool, and generating that, area of effect, ATK, attack, action, melee attack, performing attacks, choosing abilities, attacking the sims, attacks of opportunity. We've got away, directly away, boosted walk, burning condition, and characters, and character cards, cover, charge, cleanup, sims, your current player, sims activation, spawning points, spawning sims, your damage, your dexterity, EM noise, and end of the game. Let's see what it says here for end of the game. Again, it says, end game is the last step of the game after the activation phase of the final round. Record any condition damage if appropriate. Starting with the first player, score the scenario objective VPs that were not scored during the round. And then the second player then scores all of the scenario objective VPs that were not in the second scored round. With the little exclamation point, there is no end phase in the final round. We got it. So anytime there's an important message to remember, they have it highlighted with your exclamation points, which you see 3 examples of that right here. There's a 4th one up top here. See that? So we got plenty of that. Moving on, we got the end phase, end game criteria, engage, extraordinary tactics, factions, different faction cards, first aid, forged cards, friendly versus non-friendly, game sequence again, game setup, knocked out, hexes, line of sight, number of players in competitive mode, non-solo, generating luck tokens, spending luck, measuring distances, within, relative positions, melee attack, model, movement moving, movement restrictions away, how to move a model directly away, objectives, occupied hexes, player order, ranged attacks, recovery levels, remove conditions, reposition, rival players, round structures, and scenarios. So you got your scenario card, you got your setup phase, your shift, all that stuff, your different kinds of terrain, your traps, your walk actions, tag condition, targeted abilities, moving on, frequently asked questions. Then we go into scenarios. which are set up the exact same way as they are over here in the solo cooperative rules. Hands-on research, so it looks like it's the same again. Airdrop, the purge script, supply line, whiskey in a bottle, not whiskey in a jar, patient 0, last call, the great escape, and all the play testers and Kickstarter backers, got plenty of them in here. Index, rulebook editors, special thanks, and of course you have your index of the different things you might want to look up while you're doing this. And of course you got another rules reference sheet again, which we already went over. So you've got a lot of reading to do to play this game. So we've got, again, we'll take that, we'll put that in here again. We got our solo cooperative rules, we got how to play rules, we got quick start guide, we got rules reference scenario, and of course we have, when you take everything out of the box, once again, tells you exactly how to put it back in there. So that's awesome to have that. And again, as I've said, more and more games should have those kinds of things in there, because you get all this stuff and then you're like, how the heck do you get it back in the box? So it looks like we've also, so we've got a tray here. I can show you that. We've got a tray, a multi-leveled tray of figures in here and different stuff. So we got one side, we have one, and then we have the underneath as well. So we're gonna move this out of the way. We've got some cool dry erase markers, which you can always use. Those are awesome. Okay, and then we're gonna pull that over here. We got some cards. So let's take a look at the cards. These are oversized cards. They are not quite as large as tarot cards. They're a little bit smaller than that, but they are oversized cards. Definitely are oversized cards. So again, as you know, I always open things up off camera with a blade. I do not want anybody to see that in case I slip. So let's just take a look at this real quick. I happen to have an extra set of cards here. Really nice. These are very nice cards. But if you look at here, show you two different size cards. So this is a regular standard deck of cards right there. Should just show you size, just showing you that for size comparison. Okay, and then we have another set of cards like that. That's a little bit larger size. But so you can tell that these are definitely larger sized cards, and they are thick. These are not your average playing cards. It has a nice, again, I'm assuming you can use dry erase markers on them, because that's why I have those. And these are really, really nice cards. So, okay, so we've got our, it says here, 2 extra factions, 12 new characters, up to no good. So this looks like this might be even a bonus set of cards. Okay, so it looks like you have your character cards. So you have your Peacemaker. It has all the information regarding that character on here, Pi. And that's a little background information. So let's go from this side here. So let's take a look what we got here. All right, so it says no, up to no good. This is an expansion deck. So this is just an expansion deck. You've got your information about your Peacemakers. Again, we said that there were 2 different kinds of groups. You could play the Peacemakers, or you could play a Survivalist. There they are. And it appears that you're gonna have a card. You have you got some quick reference cards here, which are good. You got 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, you got 8 of these. Oh, 1 for each of the scenario cards. These are scenario cards. Very cool. I got the Great Escape. It tells you all the rules and special rules for it. So that's cool. That's really nicely done. You got the Last Call and special rules. You've got Patient 0. You got Whiskey in a Bottle. You got Supply Line. Again, the Purge script. And then you've got the Airdrop, and you've got Hands-on Research. So let's take a look at Hands-on Research. I believe that's the first one. So you would set up the board as it shows you here. There's your starting area and starting area on that side. And then again, it gives you all the information, special rules, scenario objectives, end game criteria, the break rules. You have sim spawn and scoring victory points. There you go. So every card is laid out identically the same. So that's cool. So we've got ourselves our scenario cards. Put those over here. Again, we have our 2 factions, the Survivalists and the Peacemakers. We've got 2 of those cards as well. Put those over here. You've got the title sheet. So it says your critical condition. All right, so do I have these? No. So this is just a sales. This is just a sales pitch. So they have an expansion. They must have 2 expansions for this game. So this is not included in the box. These are just this is just a sales thing. So 2 extra factions, 12 new characters, up to no good, and then on this side 2 critical condition, 2 cross faction characters. So there you go. So go to deadalivegames.com for more information about the expansions if you feel like picking those up. All right, in here we also have all our character cards, it appears. Looks like they're front and back, so hold on here a second. So these are round structure cards. Okay, these are your helpful hint cards right here. So those, again, these were your scenario cards. Here we have our helpful hint cards for your 4 players. So you got 4 of those, and again, it shows you all the phases of the game. You got setup phase, activation phase, end phase. Then you flip that over. Looks like what you can do as a character, your action score, area of effect, your conditions, knocked out characters, luck, and standard abilities. So there's a lot of information on these cards here, but you have one helpful hint card for each character. Move these out of the way. Again, you have your peacemaker and survivalist. You got your helpful hint cards. That over here. Okay, then you have your Omicron protocol cards. Let's see what these are. Oh, traps. 4 separate player aids for traps. General rules for traps. Snares. So different things that traps that people can play on you. You have a set of rules for that as well. So you got 2 different kinds of rule things. And let's see what we got here. So now it looks like we're down to characters. And let's take a look at these. There's less. It's the Sims cards. So appears there's cybernetic sociopaths. So it appears that you get 4 of these cards. So again, these must be the ability cards. Again, you get stat cards for each player. That's cool too. I like the fact that they give you every player in the game to give you a stat card for everything that you're going to be doing throughout the game. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. I like that. So again, what do the Sims do? You got passive abilities. You got Sims activation summary. Tells you right here. Stats: walk 2, ATK 2, dexterity 3, attack range is 1. Traits: cybernetic, human, small. And then you flip that over. It gives you a little background information about who they are and what they are. So that's very cool. So that's 1 for each player. That's very cool. Again, that's well thought out. Well thought out. And then it looks like you have character cards. So you can play Lucky. And again, all the cards are set up identically the same. The traits are going to be different on each card. So again, the front is going to give you the information about the character. So it's Lucky. It's going to tell you the weapons that they're using, what their stat lines are, their abilities are, their active abilities, passive abilities, and the special abilities they may have. And in the back is going to be the fluff to tell you a little about the background information about the character. So this one is Mad Doc Lucky Lee. He's a survivalist, obviously. So you got him. You've got a thug. See, survivalist, Maverick Thug Jones. Right. You can be Artemis. It's a survivalist, Kayana Artemis Osei. And then you have Gadget, Maoman Gadget Co. Then you have the Seeker, another survivalist. You have Valinda Seeker Vasquez. And now a survivalist, we have Sergey Volvik. Okay. Then you have Sergey. He is another survivalist, Sergey Volvik. Looks like they're brothers. Now we've got our peacemakers. We got Lieutenant Marty Buck McDonald. You've got Pi, who is S.A. Lukshan Pai Tong Sukum. Then you got Bolt. All these guys have peacemakers. Corporal Karina Bolt Ivanova. Looks like a lot of them have cybernetic abilities on them. Peacemaker Specialist JC Nix Reyes. Then you got Flash, Detective Jim Flash Taylor. Then you have Lance, Peacemaker Sergeant Felix Lance Chevalier. You got a Thug again. Oh, he's the survivalist, Maverick Thug Jones. Okay. And then you got Seeker. Looks like they gave you some duplicates. Interesting. So maybe they just gave you a couple of extras. I'm not sure. All right, there you go. Because we did do that one already, right? Yep, because there's the extra one of Seeker right there. Yeah, all right. So it looks like you have 4 extra cards in there as well. So there you go. So those are your character cards that you can play. The 2 different factions you can play. What else do we have in this thing? We got some more and more and more goodness coming out of this box here. So we've got some dice. Of course, what game would not be complete without some dice? Got some nice mini dice. Nice quality. It's a size dice that you use if you play 40K. They're definitely not board game size dice. They're the mini dice, so that's good too. We have those, and then we have some. The game would not be complete without mini cards. We have more mini cards. What would a game be without cards at this point? Even though in this game it doesn't seem like there are a lot of cards, which is a positive thing. All right, so we got foraging cards, it appears. Yep, those are your gray cards. And then you have here, it says solo and co-op cards. All right, so this is your AI that's going to be running your game. Okay, so I'll show you these 2 cards. That's not bad then. There's not that many games. So all the fronts are the same for foraging. So again, I'll show you one up close. They're all set up exactly the same way. You have a picture on top, 3 outer energy, which is the description of what the character card is about, and then it tells you what you've got to do. It says 3 hour energy. It says used during this model's activation. During this model's activation, it gains +1 attack for its next attack action, +1 ATK. So I'm assuming that means attack. So I'm just going to fan these out here and show you a couple more of these cards at random. Forage. Then you have Lucky Penny. Used during the model's activation, immediately gains 3 luck tokens. That's those luck tokens right there. All right, that's cool. I like that. Pull a couple more. Fake Hand. Used during the model's activation, this model may perform steal on a non-friendly model within 2 hexes. Requires line of sight. All right, I'll show you one more, which will be back here. And your forage again. Sims Cosplay Costume. Used beginning of this model's activation. Sims roll no dice when attacking this model. This model may not attack or perform a targeted ability or AoE. Small models only. Oh, maybe they can't recognize it because it's in costume. All right, so let's just take a look at the rest of them. I'm not going to read the backgrounds to them, but we just saw that one, saw that one, saw that one, and that. 3 hour energy, Blue Cow energy drink, Cone of Silence, a cute teddy bear, Distress Beacon, M Noise Generator, EMP Grenade, Fake Hand, Hacking Signal Emitter, Hole Projector, Levitation Shoes, Lucky Penny, Medical Nanites, Pot Lid, Spy Scanner, Tire Iron, that's old school, a traffic cone, tripping over a traffic cone, and Levitation Shoes. So those are all of your forage cards. So you got your forage cards, you got your scenario cards, your traps, you have your character cards, you have your Sims cards, and your 2 faction cards. And then, of course, like it said, you have a solo co-op game, and this would be all of your different activations during that solo game. So we'll just show it to him real quick, and we'll read a couple. It says, again, are all set up the same way. You've got your character, you've got your image up top here, you've got your title, and then what it does. So it says Mosh Pit. While adjacent to another Sims, this Sims may perform attacks on attack range 2. So let's open these up. Pull a couple at random so we can see what they look like. Powered up, this Sims gains +1 damage to each attack. Poke it with a stick. Before the Sims is KO'd, it immediately activates against the character who caused the knockout. So it gets an extra swing back attack. Tough Guy. This Sims ignores the first KO in each round. All right. Shake It Off. The Sims ignores the first stun condition it suffers. I'll do one more. Smoking Gun. When this Sims inflicts damage, the target character suffers a burning condition. So you're on fire. So let's show you the rest of those cards. We got Mosh Pit. We got Triangulate Signal, Noise Generator, Powered Up, Reverberate, Highly Accurate, Lightning Hands, Powered Up, Mad Rage, Quick Healing, Fake Gun, Karma, Bell Ringer, Powered Up, Rush Hour, Wild Swing, Stolen Credits, Opportunist, Powered Up, We Are Legion, Get 'em, Powered Up, Shoes Made for Walking, and they're high stepping, obviously, in that picture, but ready to kick somebody. Everybody Hustle, and 1-2 Punch. So those are your AI solo and co-op cards right there, clearly marked on the front. Okay. Now that's all the cards, dice, and everything else you have. We're on to the figures. Now the figures are larger scaled. So that's your first figure. So that is one of your characters you can be. I'll pull these out because these are a little different. So we'll take a look at these. Not sure what those are, but you get 4 of those. Okay. So I'm not going to show you all the figures because there's a lot of duplicates. But I'm going to show you the cast of heroes that we have here. So there's one of our heroes. So again, these are the characters that you can choose to play. Now they are larger scaled figures. So when I say larger scale, so there's an average size figure. So as you can tell, they are definitely a larger scale figure. These are like 32 to 35 mil. These are, this is a 28 mil. So they are larger scale, as I was mentioning. Show you another one. Yep. It's another science fiction type character. So they are much taller than the usual character. So there you go. Nice sculpts. Not too overly detailed. But again, if you hit them with a little bit, if you hit them with a little bit of primer, you will definitely be able to get the details to pop up a little bit more. Okay, you gotta just fix that up there a little bit. Again, they have hex bases versus a sniper with the scope. there's your guy with the crowbar. Again, he doesn't have any cybernetic abilities. Then we have guy looks like he's got a book in his hand, so that's cool. Again, these are all the ones from the different factions. These are from either the Peacemakers or Survivalists. Okay. I do like these figures. These are very, very cool figures. They're a little on the larger side, but they are definitely, they're more the heroic scale. So they are cool. They are a little bit bigger. Kind of the Molotov cocktail. So it looks like the cops are the guys with the cops. The Peacemakers are the ones with the cybernetic abilities and different add-ons that they have. Where the Survivalists are basically, like they said, the people who would be like you or I, just people who wanted to fight for their homes, may not have been the wealthiest of people, and what's more, really care about one another. So that's a cool. So there you go. Those are your core characters that you can be, and also the guy and the horse. You could be him as well. I've seen a version of this game where they were like animals and stuff like that too. So they must have done a second edition of this game. But anyway, so we have a couple of our baddies as well. Now the yellows don't pop that well, but you get a total of 4 of each type that I'm going to show you. You get 4 of each type. So you get this guy who's pointing, so hey, you mess with the bull, you get the horns. It looks like him. So you get 4 of those. You get 4 of her. Again, the yellow, it doesn't really help when trying to show you them on camera, but I'll show you them more up close after I just show you these. So you get 4 of the girls. This guy hit me with the briefcase. You got 4 of him. Got 4 of your mom with their bag, about to smack you over the head for getting out of line. That's old school justice right there. Can't do that anymore. There you go. You've got this guy here. Looks like a coach, almost. With a baseball cap on. Let's get him, team. All right. And last but not least, on the course line, the high stepper. Marching off to Mars. Looks like she's going to be trying out for the Rockettes there. All right. So again, you get 4 of each of these characters here. So you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You get 24 figures overall. So here they are. Just so I'll show it to you again in the boxes. So there, as you can tell, where the empty spaces, that's where that person came out of. But you get 4 of those. You get 4 of the coaches, it looks like. 4 of the moms, 4 of the coaches, 4 of the high steppers. You got 4 of the guys with the swinging the briefcase, the business guys. You got the gym teacher. For those who remember the Breakfast Club, he reminds me of him. And then, of course, you have the punk rock girl here as well. So again, it's a total of 24 additional miniatures that you get, which I'll put right there for you as well. So that's everything that's included, and this concludes our unboxing of the board game Omicron Protocol, an intra-apocalyptic squad-based minis board game. This game is for 45 to 90 minutes. It's for 1 to 4 players, ages 14 plus, and it's brought to you by Dead Alive Games. As always, remember, you can go to deadalivegames.com for videos and to purchase this product. As always, thank you so much for joining us for this unboxing video. It's truly appreciated. If you enjoyed the video, you could always give us a thumbs up and leave a comment below. You could also hit that subscribe button. This way you're kept up to date as to any time we release new content to the page. As always, thank you so much for joining us. Be safe, be well, enjoy the remainder of your day, and we'll catch you on the next unboxing video.